Well, I would tell you like this. Robin, you a bright brother. That's no secret. I've told you that quite some time.
Yeah,
Uh,
just get to the point.
brother, I'll get to the point, but if I'm on the panel, I will expect. See, again, I don't microwave it,
Just get to the point.
brother. I'm getting to the point right now, but you got to have some
Just go ahead
patience,
and get to the point.
or it's your show.
Man.
Really, y'all don't know this, y'all in danger. I'm a threat. I'm a gamble with your life, cause you know that it's okay. It's okay. You know I ain't letting up, my foot is on your neck. Take my word for it, it's a promise and a threat. Really, y'all don't know this, y'all in danger. I'm a threat. I'm a gamble with your life, cause you know that it's a bet. It's a bet. You know I ain't letting up, my foot is on your neck. Take my word for it, it's a promise and a threat. I ain't never really wanna flex my gifts, but I think it's my time. Let me check my wrist. You can never dim my shine. I'ma keep on grinding till I reach the top.
What's up, Joe? What's going on, bro? Have you gotten a chance to kind of see? Thanks for coming through, bro. How you doing?
Hey, good brother, good. Nice to see you, man. I'm glad I caught the live, man.
Yeah,
Glad
man.
man.
Yeah,
Wait. Man.
I said normally I'm not on in the morning, but I was a little cooked
Yeah,
last night.
I said, dang, my man
Yeah.
cooked early.
I'm trying. Like I said, I told myself I was going to double down, and I was going to double down and really kind of and really put some of the effort in. So yeah, man. One, two. I did two lives 2 days ago.
Okay,
Two.
I check.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be on. What's up? Are you pretty familiar with how are you doing? How are you? How have you? How's it going? How are you feeling? Everything. I'm trying to get good about asking that kind of stuff.
No, I'm grateful, man. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I'll sum it up with that, man. Life is good, even with its flaws and shortcomings. I'm still grateful. You know,
Okay.
I appreciate that, brother. Thank you.
Oh man, we gotta check in on each other, and I just again I'm seeing how easily and how the way people just kind of kick dirt on us, and we're just used as utility, and we're not treated as human beings anymore, or at all, and I'm realizing that more now. I'm like, oh, okay. So damn, they don't even they don't even care. Clearly something's up. Nobody's really asking if he's okay, or not you. I'm just saying in general. It's just like we just get thrown out with the bathwater. But are you pretty familiar with? Are you familiar at all with Michael Irvin and or this current situation? Had you heard about this yet?
No, I'm not. So if you can, like, I came in late. When I saw you live, I had to
Yeah.
jump in. I was like, yo, I don't know when I'm gonna catch him again.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, but if you don't mind recapping,
I mean, essentially, just he just went into a hotel. He had a quick, 45-second interaction with a woman from the hotel, and he ends up getting kicked off the NFL Network's coverage of the Super Bowl, and because of an allegation, and he flipped the script and just filed $100 million lawsuit against the hotel chain and the accuser. Um, that's what he popped up in and filed suit yesterday, and doing a little research because of course I've heard about this kind of thing happening before. This is the third time he's been hit with a allegation for SA or for whatever. So um again, it was more about, guys fighting back. And once we realized that there is once he realized that it was obviously a false allegation and the proof or what they were using as proof was bullshit, this is when he filed a suit. So, I was highlighting the idea that, we're fighting back. This is going to have to be the norm for us to be able to get a fair shake. You know, that's all. So
so
I just wanted to kind of memorialize the situation and just kind of put it out there like, hey, guys, be careful. All it takes is a handshake and whatever to get you got. It doesn't even take that. Snuggles made a point to say that, look, you don't even, all they need is a name, to be honest with you. They don't even need an instance of you doing something. They could just say you did something and get you got. So that's all. Got thoughts?
Yes, absolutely. So with that being said, lovely breakdown too. You always been known for being precise. Being able
Appreciate you,
to
bro.
package an argument very quickly, very accurate. Okay. So yeah, man, I think that as men we should fight back. I mean,
Mm,
that's self-explanatory. I think the narrative that has been postulated to us over the years is that men who talk or defend themselves is not a masculine thing. You should be strong, silent, walk away, and just take it. Or you might hear certain comments like, "You shouldn't even be going back and forth with the female. That's not masculine."
mm,
Or you have this idea where as though even if you speak your mind, you're too emotional.
mm,
So it has to come to a point where we do step up and defend ourselves because I understand the idea, and I was talking to a gentleman about this that you know you think that walking away helps, but when you don't attend to a virus or a disease, what happens is that it grows and it festers. So
mm.
what we have now is when we have a situation where, oh, I can do something to this guy, this male, and I know that he's going to silently walk away thinking that he's going to diffuse the problem, but necessarily the bad behavior is still growing because nobody's attended to it. It's like a wild garden. So I'm like, you know what? The hell with all that. Don't let these women tell you that you ain't supposed to. And let me tell you, when you start clapping back, they're gonna call you sassy. Ain't that some shit? They
Mm.
learn how to weaponize. They didn't learn how to weaponize this whole conversation.
Yeah.
See, step into a conversation with these young ladies, and don't and men are already not known for being good communicators.
Mm.
Men have a big problem with communicating how they feel.
See, okay. I hate to cut you off. I hate to cut you off, but see, that's the misconception. See, who told you that? Who told you that?
Okay, well,
A female told you that. No, hold on. Men are good at communicating. It's just that they get slapped on the dick every time they say what they fucking mean. That's the problem. We're perfectly fine communicating however we communicate, but the other side has convinced you that the way that we communicate is the wrong way, and that's not right. They've convinced you that, oh, men are bad communicators. Are they though? Are
well,
they? Go ahead.
I'll, I'll tell you this. From what and you know what, maybe so. I will say that could be the point for some people, but what I've seen in my life and men that I've spoken to and situations that I've heard and seen with my own eyes, you come to find out every man can't articulate themselves like me and you can, bro. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you.
I get that.
Some men I've seen get into conflict, they would rather just not say anything and let it blow, or when they begin to talk, it turns into a lot of aggression. And yes, you have some men, because when I sit down with a young lady, I'm able to articulate.
Time out. You do realize you just made my point for me, right?
I did explain.
Because
If I
you just
did,
said, you said because you just said whenever a man says something, he gets penalized. That's exactly it. Whenever he pushes back, he gets penalized. It's not that he can't communicate. It's just that whenever he does communicate, he gets his dick slapped.
okay. So let me say, I don't remember saying that, but if I said it, then I stand corrected. But let's put it on terms like this.
Say it
Uh,
again. Tell me how you
yeah,
go ahead.
absolutely. So what I would say is that when I see conflict between men and women, two things either happen. Either the man gets overly upset and aggravated because either his message is not going through, he has to tell this woman 3, 4, 5, 6 times. Obviously, she's not getting it. Or okay, and I can get it. Maybe he doesn't want to go through that no more. But this is the issue that I have. If I'm communicating to a crowd of people and everybody's not understanding my point that I'm getting across, and I know it's not his job. It should just be a simple, I don't like this, I don't like that. Can we change it? I get it. But what I come to find out is most men can't put how they feel into words. Some of them can. I'm very good at it. I don't have these problems with women, but some of them I do. But when I sit down, I let it be known clearly, sharp like a razor, how I feel and what I don't want to take place, what I do want to take place, and what I'm really not that concerned about, period.
Again,
Bro,
what you don't realize is you just made my point. Go ahead, Mr. Allen. Oh, what? Uh,
bro,
Yeah, go ahead, Mr.
It's
Allen.
not the fact. It's not the fact that they don't that men can't communicate. We communicate with each other very well. It's the fact that bitch don't want to listen. She's
Okay,
being rebellious.
I
That's
agree.
it. That's the thing.
I
That
listen.
That's the sauce. That's the
Told
secret
the guy
sauce right
my
there.
job.
hold on, let him finish, Joe. Let him finish. Go ahead, Mr. Allen.
Because that bitch don't want to listen, she gonna tell you that you can't communicate. That's not it.
I've never heard a woman tell a man he couldn't communicate, although I know it exists. But when I hear men talk to women, I say, damn, did he really word it like that? I get it. You know, you can word it however you want to word it. I just know that when I hear men talking to women, they're not really meticulous. It's just, it's like surface level shit. And I get it. They don't feel like doing it because the bitch don't listen. I got it.
Meticulous
Well,
according to
no, no.
whom?
Well,
Meti-
according to me, I'm the one listening to the conversation.
okay,
So,
so hold on. If you're listening to a conversation with female ears, and don't take that the wrong way,
I
but
won't.
if you're listening to a conversation with female ears and you hear the words as if the same way the females do, then you can understand how maybe that doesn't sound right. But a
Oh,
man is communicating just fine. You see
well,
what I'm
that,
saying?
well, I would tell you like this. The problem with that is this. I never came on here and said that the way they communicate is wrong or good. I just said that according to what I hear, I feel as though most men don't know how to communicate how they feel. Now, as far as listening to,
Hold on, because you make that statement, but I'm saying what I'm telling you is that that statement is exactly what I was talking about, how we've been conditioned to think that men can't communicate. And who told you that? A female told you that.
no, female didn't tell me that. I'll give you an example in case we got to break it down even more. All right. If a man, let's say a man has a problem with his woman going out hanging out with his girlfriends. Let's say that he has a problem with that. Most likely, and I'm saying most likely because everyone's different, but I'm gonna show you my experiences with because I got a lot of
We're
fellas.
not okay, go ahead.
Oh, no, I have to make it clear because clearly on here we missed the loophole. So let me break it down.
I think you're missing the loophole, but okay.
I got you, no problem. Hey, look, I didn't get like that when you said I had female ears, man. Let's move forward. It's all good, baby. It's all.
I said you're listening to it with female ears, but go
I,
ahead.
I didn't take that personally because I know that ain't true. So if it ain't true, it don't apply. I don't reply. So if a man has to say something like, "Hey, look, I don't want you hanging out with your girlfriends," he might step into this conversation and tell her, "Hey, where you going?" Or he might say something like, "Do you think it's suitable for you to be hanging out this time of night at the club? Why you want to go to the club?" He might say something like, "Do I know these friends?" She might respond and say, "Yeah, they just my friends, baby. Why you acting insecure? What, you don't trust me or something?" This conversation is a conversation that has to be sat down with and had. And in conversations, it takes a certain level of vulnerability. It takes a certain level of honesty, integrity. You can't microwave communication. And that's what a lot of men, from my experiences that I see talking to these women that never work out, they want to microwave the communication. Communication is food. Get that home cooked meal, baby. Sit her ass the fuck down and set her straight through communication, clarity, and what you're very good for, accuracy, brother.
That communication that you're talking about is a manipulation.
Oh,
That
okay.
that communication that you're talking about is a manipulation. Oh, are you insecure? Yes, actually, the definition of insecure is exactly it.
Well,
Because
that's
if I
yes.
hold on. The actual communication is a manipulation that you're trying to have. See, what you're not really realizing, man, is that women use these kind of conversations in order to disarm you.
Yes.
And so guys being very specific, no, I don't want you to go out because it's not safe. Yes, I'm insecure because there's nothing but dogs out there. There's that. You can say that a million different ways, but they're going to try to tell you how you're not X, Y, or Z, and you're being insecure. And those are words that are being used to disarm you.
I
They're and
agree.
they're telling you that you're wrong and
I
that
agree.
you don't know how to communicate when you know how to communicate just fine. I said exactly what I said 3 different ways, but you're gaslighting me, trying to
Mm,
get me to believe that I'm the crazy one when I explained to you exactly what my point was. And what I'm trying to tell you is that what we're not realizing is that, for example, this is a perfect example. They've been told that women are more emotionally they develop earlier. They're
sure.
more emotionally
Mature.
mature, right? That right, like you've heard that a million times. I would put that in the same bucket that you just used as far as men don't know how to communicate. Okay. Now, what happens when a little baby girl wants something for their daddy? What do? They do this. Uh, uh, right? And what do? Daddy does what? He gives her, he's like, here, right? Little girls learn how to do that early. Now they say that that's emotional intelligence. They've learned how to manipulate early. Now, a little boy, in the same token, he wants to build a house. He gets a shovel, he gets a hammer and some nails, and he starts building things. That's his way of manipulating things. Now, you've been taught that the girl is superior because she's learned how to go, eh, eh. But the reality is that she just communicates differently than a man does, a boy does. But you've been told that eh, eh, is superior than a boy going and doing it himself. Do you see what I'm saying? You don't understand.
Well, I would tell you like this. Robert, you a bright brother. That's no secret. I've told you that quite some time.
Just get to the point.
Brother, I'll get to the point, but if I'm on the panel, I will expect. See, again, I don't microwave it.
Just get to the point.
Brother, I'm getting to the point right now, but you got to have some patience.
Go ahead and get to the point.
Or it's your show.
Man.
To sum it all up,
go ahead.
That bitch ain't want to listen, so she's gonna tell you you don't understand. It's simple. It's manipulation. See, I've lived a very diverse life, so I've had the opportunity to be around. I guess you could call them. Well, everyone refers to them as pimps, but I refer to them as just gentlemen of leisure. And I learned some things. One thing is, fuck what the fuck she's talking about. She's gonna make you wrong. It doesn't matter what you say. You're gonna be wrong. You're the bad guy, and you can't listen to none of that bullshit. Mother raised. That queen mother goddess shit that you talk about? Yeah.
Yes.
It's everything she says has been filtered through that. She don't want to listen, so guess what? You're gonna say, well, maybe she's right. Maybe men have no problem explaining or communicating what's going on, because if you walk into a room in a city that you've never even been in and 13 dudes give you a look, you know what the fuck that look mean? That means you need to get the fuck out of that goddamn room or prepare to do battle. It's simple. It's not an issue of communication. It's an issue of they can't get what they want.
That's it.
Exactly.
Right? I don't know. I don't
that's
really
one of the things you realize as you get older. As you age, those truths are they're salty. It's like seawater. It's not palatable. It's harsh. It's abrasive, but it's real.
Yeah.
These bitches are out here on some wild ass shit, doing wild ass shit to grown ass men that are our seniors that are better off than us and getting away with it.
Yeah.
But hold their feet to the fire. Hold their fucking feet to the fire, because if not, what's gonna happen? They coming after me, you, and everyone on this panel, and the ones listening.
Yeah.
Everything you built, gone.
Yeah.
Gone, man.
Yeah.
Over a fucking allegation?
Yeah.
All the work, the blood, the sweat, the tears, the pain, the days you were tired, the days you were sad, but you got your ass up and went to work. That bitch want to take that shit.
Yeah.
They're there for your resources. They want to eat good and get some dick and spend money. My nigga.
Yeah.
Fuck these hoes. Go somewhere else.
Yeah.
You're dealing with the most wretched, low fucking hanging fruit on the goddamn planet, dog.
Yeah.
Fuck them. Move. Don't defend them. Leave them. Let them die. Step over them bodies, Slim.
Yeah.
I don't want to see Ned brother on this panel or any other panel be destroyed like this. It's
Yeah.
fucked up because when they coming with the wrath. They bring in the whole U.S. government. That's what most of you niggas don't understand. They collapse countries. Who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you, nigga? Fuck you think you is? You living in the enemy's country, and they collapse countries. Fuck
Yeah.
you gonna do?
Yeah.
Take that L and die or die.
Yeah.
So cut all the bullshit.
Yeah. There you can't
Ain't none of you niggas that big.
Yeah,
to
you can't.
withstand the whole military might of the ATF and the U.S. Army, nigga.
Yeah.
Fuck these hoes.
Yeah.
Leave. With that being said, I got shit to do.
It's all good.
Alvin, enjoy your day.
Yeah.
Brother, I love you. I'm older than you, but I've seen more shit.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah.
It's not that you didn't get the point. It's the fact that you're still listening, and it's a layer of cushion there because there's some love there. I ain't got no more love for these bitches. They didn't fuck me. They didn't took my kids. They didn't fuck my whole shit up. I had to rebuild my life. And before you get there, before you suffer that consequence, learn. I'm out. Peace, y'all.
Yes, sir. I'll let you later, bro. Woo, woo. Hey, because it takes a again, I like I said, I've almost been kicked out of college. I've almost lost 2 jobs. I've been snatched out of my house behind somebody's say-so, behind some female just pointing her finger and saying he did something to me without any kind of proof whatsoever. And there's no way you can alpha your way through that. I'm not trying to Joe, what I'm saying, and again, this is only a realization that has come relatively recently, is that we have been conditioned to think in a way that puts us in the catbird seat first, and to even fight others that even question it. And so, it's I hear what you're saying, and I hear the arguments. What I'm telling you is that these arguments that are coming have been given to you. And it seems, and then obviously they're coming out of your mouth, right? And you're saying it, and it makes sense in a lot of ways. And what I'm trying to tell you is like, hey man, like it's like somebody gave you the wrong ABCs as a kid. Does that make any sense? Like somebody like gave you the ABCs with them backwards, and you learned them backwards. But then you're like, wait a minute, like somebody's like, oh no, this shit is backwards. And you're like, no, it isn't. I learned it this way my whole life. That's always been this from my experience. This is how I've always read it, but not realizing that like, oh no, they gave you the wrong book. So, I mean, I didn't mean to stop you like that. What I'm just simply saying is that like, again, and I'm gonna bring you back. But what I'm saying is that we've been conditioned to believe that what they've said this entire time was correct. And I'm trying to say that like women aren't more emotionally intelligent than men. It's just that they use their emotions as a weapon more than we do. That doesn't mean that they're better than us in that way, or that men have trouble communicating or men have trouble explaining themselves. It just means that when they do, and this bitch don't want to hear it, it's like, okay, well then I'm wrong. Well, how am I wrong when you just didn't want to accept what I just told you? Go ahead. And sorry, and again, I hated to do that to you, but I just.
Well, come on, you know how we roll. It's all good, baby. We had worse shit than that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but I got tough skin, baby. I ain't worried about it.
Gotcha. Go
So
ahead.
the guy that just left off of here, he said something that I really want to unpack. He said, "Yo, I'm older than you." He said you ain't went through enough pain yet. And I want to let the fellas on here. I understand that these women been kicking y'all asses. I get it. Unfortunately, I don't feel the same way on everything. I don't get my ass kicked by women like that.
You gotta alpha your way through it, right?
Well, I can tell you, every man can't alpha their way through it. I just happen to be one of them that can. That doesn't mean that anybody's less or greater. But what I will tell you is that I can't sit on here and pretend that I feel the same way other brothers than felt, because my experience with women aren't the same as theirs. But nonetheless, it's still something to take place. It's still something that I respect and appreciate. Until I get my ass whooped by women, then maybe we can sit down and we can have a dialogue. I don't know what it's like for a woman to not bring my plate. I don't know. Hold on. Okay, go ahead, bro.
Go ahead.
I don't know what it's like for a woman I have to tell her 3 times to do something. I don't know what it's like for a woman to not fix my plate. I don't know what it's like for a woman to yell and scream at me and jump in my face like she wants to fight me as a man. Men don't even do that. So again, but nonetheless, I see the problems that we have. I'm a very good communicator. When I sit down with any woman that I'm dealing with, we get the job done. Simple as that. And once I get the job done with, I don't deal with anymore. Go ahead, my bad. Go ahead.
Have you heard of the? You know, sometimes we have sometimes we don't really realize that situations that we're in oftentimes you ever see you ever see a fat bitch call another bitch fat,
All the time, brother.
right?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, sir.
You know,
This
right?
sounds gonna be fun.
No, I'm not gonna. I'm not because I'm not good. Because I'm not gonna do you. I'm not gonna do you like this.
No, I don't. I love it because you might need to hear. I might need to hear it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. So like,
You have it. Give it. Come on, man. Don't do
no,
that.
because I will
We men around here. Let's get it done, baby.
well, no, because I'm not trying to put your okay. It's difficult not to. You can't put yourself. You can't put your personal stuff out there unless you want to put all of your personal stuff out there,
Facts.
right? Okay.
Facts.
So like if you were to say I ain't never had a female like do me X, Y, or Z, or I ain't never had no problems with a female, but then you have had those kind of problems with your female, like it kind of makes what you're saying nonsensical. Does that make any sense?
No, no. It only makes it nonsensical to people that don't know my whole story. I've had problems with females, of course. Now, there's no man that hasn't, but my problems aren't necessarily what other people might call problems. I'll give you an example real quick, and I'll land my plane. Land my plane. All right. Some men have been taken to court and can't see their children. I know what that feels like, but that doesn't break me down as a man. Some men that will literally rip a fucking hole inside of a man. I'm not built that way. That don't affect me like how it would affect other men. But if you knew my whole story, it would make sense. But go ahead.
Like I said, man, I'm not. I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to.
I know, brother. You good man.
Because it's not. Well, it's just not. It's not. It's not nice. But
I hope not. Nice ain't nice. I don't want nobody to be nice.
Nah. Well, yeah, I know. But I mean, I'm just saying, like, because I heard what you said.
Yes,
right?
sir.
But that doesn't necessarily reflect. It's not. It's what you said wasn't honest because.
Okay.
Because you don't. Do you have access? See, and see, and like I said, I ain't gonna do you like that. But look, all I'll say is this. I'll say this. All I will say is that I think that a lot of the morals and values that we are that are being taught to a lot of men, especially those that have been raised by their mothers or single parent, single mother raised folks, and so on and so forth. And then again, some of us have had fathers that are strong men that can stand on their square. Some of us haven't. But what I'll say in the greater scheme of things is that we've been told and conditioned for a long time that women are better than men, and that the way they communicate is the proper way to communicate, and that the way that you're doing it is wrong. And what I'm trying to tell you is that I get your position, but what I'm saying is that we've been lied to, and we've been lied to not just for like a couple of seconds ago. I'm saying that we've been lied to all the way up and through school. And what do I mean? But the reason why I went into the kids thing, right? And then we can even we can follow that a little bit further, right? Like, cause you do follow my example of of um of the kids. Let's how women, how little girls and little boys are different, right? We're not so again, little girls, eh, eh, right? So they don't get they don't get up and they go get the toy themselves. They manipulate daddy to get the toy. That's how they move something from some place to the other, right? You can you just nod or no, yes or no. Do you get that part?
Okay, yeah.
Am I lying? Tell me if I'm lying.
I'm brother. I listen. I'm not saying you're lying or anything.
If I'm not, but I'm just saying. I'm trying to just walk you through a concept for the audience, for the people that are listening, and also to give everyone understanding, because okay, so just you can nod. Okay, you don't. So like I said, little girls, they don't get up and get the toy themselves. They manipulate daddy into getting the toy. Eh, eh, right? That's not them. That's they call that emotional intelligence. The kid is learning how to manipulate another human being instead of manipulating the device themselves. So the little boy gets up and he walks over and gets the toy himself. The little girl goes eh, and gets daddy to do it, right?
I, that's subjective.
No, it's not.
Okay. Do you have any percentage or research that show that no little girl gets up?
Don't you have kids? Don't you
Okay,
have kids? Daddy's
but
little girl.
but
Well, you're playing because because okay. So this is one of those times where when you say the man gets frustrated because he can't communicate. When I've given you 3 different examples of the exact same thing. Hey, Cody, hit the link, bro. Hit the link. You ain't got to cam up. Cody, hit the link, because that at least because Joe doesn't understand how to participate.
hey, brother, I've listened.
Joe doesn't.
Ask you a question. You gotta calm down, bro.
I walked you through a very easy through an easy thing, but
And
you
I
don't
ask,
want to.
and I
Okay,
ask
look,
you a
because what
question,
you're doing is you're denying human nature, which is exactly what this is.
bro.
You're trying to deny human nature, and I'm trying to tell you that what I'm trying to tell you is that what you've been told your whole life is that your nature is less than a female's nature, and what you're in here doing is trying to convince me that your nature or a female's nature is better than a man's nature. That's essentially what you're trying to get me to do. And
No,
I'm
I'm
trying to tell you that you've been coached your entire life, all the way through school, to believe that that's the case. And I'm trying to tell you that you've been lied to your whole life, is what I'm trying to say.
Are you saying that I believe that women's nature is more effective than a man's nature? Are you saying that I believe that?
You've said that.
No, the fuck I'm sorry. No, I didn't, bro. You gotta slow down.
With your own argument, with your own argument, that's what you've said. Here we
No,
go. Hey, Cody, real quick. All right, so Cody.
Yeah.
Now, do kids if did you understand my example of little kids, of little boys and little girls?
Yeah.
You understood, right?
Yeah.
Am I being a dickhead by using that example?
No, I saw it with my sister, little sister, man.
Same, right? You hear daddy's little girl, right?
Mhm.
Right? The little boys sit on the ground, little girls go and daddy picks her up, right? Like
Yeah.
little girls learn how to manipulate people earlier. What I'm telling you is that we've been told that qualifies as emotional intelligence. That's what it's being said. So when you go to school, then they're saying, "Oh, girls mature faster than boys." That's not true. Girls don't mature faster than boys. They just learn how to manipulate earlier than boys. And it's not that they know how to manipulate, they know how to manipulate people versus manipulating things. Little boys learn how to manipulate things, little girls learn how to manipulate people. Now, if you go to school and all of the school now has set you up to learn, so in a way that girls are set up to learn, to way girls are set up to learn, and they penalize boys when they try to when they do whatever that they hold on. What does Snuggle say? Which parents spend most of the time out? Exactly. See, see. That's why my chat is the shit. That's why you guys are. That's why you guys are the shit. So if you go to school and the school system is set up with the idea that the way females communicate is the best way, that's the mature way, that's the way it should be, and they penalize little boys for acting the way they act, and they go so far as to take gym out of schools. They take shop class out of schools. When
They
they
took
take
ROTC out of school.
ROTC or anything that's masculine out of schools, and they make the boys operate in a way that highlights and or puts the little girls in the way in the catbird seat. Then you get arguments like this where people get to where they're 35, 40 years old saying things like men don't communicate very well, without actually thinking, do men just not know how to communicate very well? Or is it just that when men communicate and girls don't like what they say you're just not communicating very well? And what I'm trying to tell you, Joe, is that men communicate just fine. And what happens is men are trying to say it a million different ways to succumb to whatever female is trying to get them to say it however they want to say it, which is literally exactly what happened. I gave you 4 different ways to try to tell you that maybe there's a chance that the way that you look at the world has been manipulated by a female so that you see it as the guys always not being able to alpha their way through it, or men don't communicate very well. And I'm trying to tell you, men communicate just fine. Like, you see what I'm saying, Cody?
Yeah. Oh, I just want to give you one example. This is real life stuff here I experienced. I remember when I told my mother, look, hey, can I get something, or can I have some money for something? No, right now, you can wait later. But once my little sister said something, she turned around and she gave her the money right then and there. I'm looking like, oh, wow. Look. I'm like, and she kept begging her, please, 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 please. Like, all right, I'll give it to you. I said, wow. See, you just put that in my now it just refreshed my memory what had happened.
It makes sense, huh?
Yeah, totally.
And let's see. And I know you've traveled outside of the United States. You've traveled to Europe. I've traveled to Europe. Joe, have you traveled to Europe, Joe?
No, sir.
Or out of the country?
No, sir. I've been to Canada and Quebec a couple times, but that's it.
Fair enough.
Hey, can I? You mind if I jump in?
Go ahead. Please.
All right.
Please do. Hold on. All right, wait, hold on. Go ahead.
All right, great. I like that. This is the deal, right? For the people that don't know me, let me make it very clear. These terminologies like manosphere and manning up, I'm very sure there's probably a handful of men in this chat that are as abrasive or even hold women to task like I do. Now, the problem is this. Even though I hold women to task, I have no bullshit tolerance for women or men. I don't give a fuck what you are. But when I come to find out in these spaces that once you say something that people don't understand, all of a sudden you got a simp ship. I never said women were good communicators. I simply just said, I feel as though most men, and most somehow turned into all, because that's how we like to embellish when we get our feelings hurt. I said most men don't know how to communicate how they feel. Communicating how you feel doesn't mean you don't know how to communicate. You got to look at the nuances of what I'm saying and how I'm saying it. Sometimes we hear something we don't like, we get excited, we go spread the rumor. It would suffice when you're having a conversation with someone to actually sit down long enough to figure out what their point of views are. So then you can rebuttal with an argument. That's not what I've seen here tonight. I get it. On this panel, like I told you, the brother that got off, it wasn't an insult to say he got his ass kicked by women. He said it himself. I'm only repeating what the gentleman stated himself. I don't necessarily have those situations, although I have been in war with women as well. But a punch that you might feel from a woman, I can feel the same punch. It might not affect me like how it affect you. I got a different jaw than you got. Not you per se, anybody on the panel, but any man that's been through something, I respect it. If that's what you're going through, everybody got their own mountain to climb. That's not my view. I don't necessarily have a problem with women. I just got a problem with the dumb shit that they do. And I think the dumb shit that they do can be countered or deflected by men that are smart enough to know how to handle them. If you don't, then don't. If I couldn't, I won't. Thank you.
So what do you think happened? So what do you think happened here, Joe? Right here.
Okay.
So what do you think happened here?
Okay, hold on. What I just said, we can jump to that. But
no, I mean, no. What do you think happened here?
Okay, well, you told me that the guy went in there, had an altercation with a woman, and he
I didn't say altercation. I said he had a 40. Hold on, I'm gonna tell you. He had a 45-second conversation and he shook her hand. Go ahead.
All right, great. Okay, cool, no problem. I'm paraphrasing right now. I can't quote everything you said verbatim. Nonetheless, the message is still the same. So you told me that the guy had a 45-second hello with the woman, and she accused him of something that he didn't do. Now he got kicked off the Super Bowl, whatever, and now he's suing the lady. That's what you just told me what happened. Because when I called it, I didn't know.
Mm-hmm. And he's suing the lady in the hotel. Yeah.
All right. So what you want to know?
I mean, I don't know.
Exactly.
What I'm trying to say is that you're trying to make it seem as though it's like he could. What I'm trying to get you to understand is that it doesn't even take an actual interaction with the female to get somebody got, is what I'm trying to tell you. And what you're trying to say is that these guys get in these spaces and they say X, Y, and Z and da 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 da, like they're crying, and it's like, well, he didn't even actually have much of an interaction with this woman at all, but he's lost his job. He's lost his whatever, So what happened in this case that like, explain it.
Well, you already explained it. You said it.
Well, I mean, because your understanding of it must be different. Because my understanding of it, because I don't think, because the way you're explaining it, he should be able to alpha his way through this stuff. Nothing like this should ever happen to him, right? If you're a strong enough man, nothing like this should ever happen. So what happened?
That's not what I said. Anybody in the audience that has a brain will see that I said nothing even remotely close to that.
That's exactly what you said, and I put you on. And I'm gonna go ahead and just so you know, I'm gonna use this because I'm gonna use this as a teaching moment. I'm about to make you famous. You're gonna have to relive. Unfortunately, you're gonna have to relive that moment over and over and over again because when it's all said and done, you're gonna understand how nonsensical what you said actually meant. Like, what go ahead. What happened?
And if you can do that, I'll stand.
What happened?
You gonna cut me off and get mad again?
What happened? What happened? What happened to him? I ain't gonna cut you off. I'm just gonna remove you from the stream, bro. Because see, here's the difference. The difference between you and me is like, this is my platform. I do what I want to with it. You can't. Hey, bro, if you don't ever touch this screen again on my live, then that's just what it is, dog. That just is what it is. If you honestly think that I'm gonna sit here and let you filibuster, talk over me, and spread some nonsense without explaining yourself, you're sadly mistaken. And this is not how I operate. You can do that shit with somebody else, but you ain't about to do that over here. Not over here. I run the conversation over here. See this mute button removed from the stream? That's what this is. And I'm happy to have the conversation. But if what you're trying to say is that you can't just like I'm trying to tell you is that you're like, we got to alpha your way through stuff as if we don't actually I'm trying to tell you that on some level, we don't even have a say in what's happening around us is what I'm trying to say. And it's gotten to the point to where, go ahead, Coach. It's gotten to the point to where it doesn't even require us to even have a relationship with a woman for her to be able to point a finger and get us got. And anybody that would come in here and try to act like we're just not tough enough, or you guys are just sensitive, or you can't express your feelings, is being disingenuous at best. Disingenuous at best.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I had a similar
go ahead.
situation.
Hold on, Joe, for a quick second, because I got Cody. Cody wants to say something, and then and you know what, Snuggles? I know he doesn't mean any harm, and I know he does have some convictions. Like I said, the simp chip is strong. It's very strong. The simp chip is strong. The programming, he's got years and years of programming that has told him that men don't know how to communicate. And I've been sitting here talking into this motherfucking camera for 10 hours straight almost, and I know how to communicate. And I know a lot of men know how to communicate. But what he doesn't understand is that men keep trying to dance around, trying not to offend a female or a female-led male the whole time, trying to like ease things out instead of just booting his ass clean off the platform. Go ahead, Cody.
That happened to me with an Asian girl in my class nearly 2 years ago. She said she actually cursed me out, like had an outburst, and said that I was staring at her, this, that, and the third. And I said, I wasn't staring at you. Say, yes, you fucking are. Man, I really wanted to curse her ass out that day, but I couldn't do it.
Did she cuss at you like that, Cody?
Yeah, but you know, with me, by me being in class and being in front of with these instructors, I didn't want to, because if I would have did that, they would have had to, it's like, tell me I can't come to the campus again or whatever. Because you know how it is. You know, it's all they side with the women. You know how it is.
Yeah.
100%. And you know, we live in a first world country where we don't get to say so. They're gonna hear them first.
Yeah.
It's actually our word against theirs, pretty much. And they're not gonna it's basically like idiocracy. You gotta hear me. You remember that? They say if you smart, you talk like a fag. You know what I'm saying? It's getting to that point right now.
Yeah. I feel you. Go ahead, Joe. Get it off. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead. I'm gonna mute myself. Go ahead, Joe.
Hey yo, check this out, man. I love y'all, man. I really do. I think you guys are beautiful. Little things I would tweak if I was y'all, but it's none of my business. Listen, Cody Marshall. Listen, bro.
Here's what we're gonna do. We're not even gonna reference anybody. We're not gonna reference anybody specifically anymore. All right. We're not gonna talk directly to talk about the points. We're not gonna specifically talk about anybody in particular. If you can't do that, then I will boot you for real. So talk about argue the points, not the people, please. I'm not gonna ask again. So we're not going to say anything directly to Mr. Allen, especially since he's not here to defend himself, or we're not going to attack Cody specifically at all. Okay. That's what we're not going to do. If you want to attack me, you can do that, but not Cody or the guest. Go ahead. And I'm going to mute myself.
I don't want to attack you, Alvin. You have to be a worthy opponent for me to do that. You've shown that you're not. So attacking you will be pointless. Anyway, moving forward. The only thing I can say to you, brothers, is that I appreciate what y'all do. Y'all always gonna get my support. All the shots you guys throw means nothing to me. I do this my life.
Unmute yourself.
We're not gonna go through. We're not gonna listen to the soliloquy. We're just gonna let him go. He's there in the background. I would have even taken the shots or whatever, but like, everyone likes to try to make these like parting things like, oh my God, thank you guys so much for having me, of course, because none of you guys are intelligent enough to be able to keep on the conversation, because none of you guys are smart enough. You guys are just so butthurt. You guys on the manosphere are so. You know what happened with Joe? you know what, Joe? I'm gonna put you on blast now because you asked for it. So me and Joe had these conversations, and it was kind of funny, right? And we had a couple. We spoke on the phone. So me and Joe have a little bit of a history. We spoke on the phone, and we had a couple of conversations. And the thing about the manosphere that's really interesting is that people have kept men apart from each other for so long that they require, or they we don't really realize how much we need each other. We need to like bounce ideas off of each other. We need to have conversation with each other. We have brother, we need brotherhood. We don't really realize how much we thrive. We need that kind of interaction. And what happened is that we got a couple of times and we got a chance to talk on the phone, and we were just chopping it up and bouncing back and forth. And I think that, with Joe, he likes to, Joe, if I'm not mistaken, and again, I will only say something that I've said to his face, so I don't feel like I'm talking shit. Joe likes to argue, not to debate. And I'm open to debating with another man, but I won't argue with another man. And unfortunately, Joe has a hard time understanding the difference between the two. Joe likes to argue. I like to debate. He believes him arguing is debating, and that's not. Debate deals with particular issues and concepts. Arguing is when you start to get into the ad hominem attacks. Now, I did throw the simp chip thing in there. Yes, and that was could be conceived as or be considered an ad hominem attack. So I will fess up and I will man up and say that I did that because I can say that because quite frankly, now I tried not to, but he got so simpy there that it just couldn't help. I was like, God damn it, he just won't listen because again, he keeps having these disingenuous arguments and these disingenuous points he keeps making. And I'm like, at this point, you're just trying to insult me. At this point, you're insulting my intelligence and insulting the intelligence of all of the people that I'm dealing with or that are listening now. Now, me and Joe had a couple of very long conversations there. It dipped into debate and then it kind of dipped into argument. And it wasn't only after the second or third very long conversation that we had where he goes, "You just hate women." And I was like, there it is. He's been wanting to say that to me for 2 days. That you just hate women. You guys just hate women. That's what he wanted to say. He just wanted to say that I hate women. And he's got a problem with the space. He's got a problem with the greater manosphere or men having these conversations. And when he finally found an opportunity to actually say it, he finally said it. And I already knew what was going on the whole time, but I was like, let me just wait and just sit. And sure enough, eventually that's what came out. You hate women. And that ultimately was what ended our friendship or conversation. I was like, oh, then I don't even need to deal with you no more. I will just see you on the live, bro. And the thing of it was that I actually hadn't spoken to him except for on a live because I was like, you know what? I don't need to talk to you on the phone no
What's up,
more. It's
Mr.
cool.
Allen?
We can be good. What's up, Alan? We can be good. And I don't need to have a personal, relationship with you, seeing as how you think I hate women. And sure enough, just like in the past, soon as he starts to get pressed a little bit, he's like, you guys just all hate women. You guys in the space just hate women. Blah, blah, blah. You guys men are bad communicators. And I'm like, come on, bro. But anyways, go ahead, Alan. I think you and again at this point, look, real quick. Like I said, I'm not intelligent enough. He's way too smart for me to be able to go back and forth with. So we'll leave specific attacks on Joe out of here if we want to kind of talk about what he said in particular or whatever. We could talk about, again, the concept. Let's not attack him in particular, but like, the things that he was saying. Please go ahead.
The Alvin, it was the manipulation or the manipulative situation with women and how it started. And I saw, like I said, with my sister, you know what I'm saying, compared to me. not just give you that real example. I experienced myself. So, you know, and that's what clicked. That light bulb came up over my head. That's the reason why I came on.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Because you're like, damn, that's exactly how it happened in practice, right? It's like sister has her way of like being able to do it, and then all of a sudden mom's like, oh yeah, go ahead. And then you're like, well, wait a minute, I asked nicer than she did, or whatever. But go on, Alan, what would you like to add, bro? How you doing? Glad you came back.
I left and then started listening again, and I heard something that I didn't like, and I'm not going to attack a man that's not on the platform.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll leave it at that. What most individuals don't quite understand is the ones that's all about that alpha your way through. America has a very specific word for those kind of people. They call them insurgents. And if you look back at our last conflict, there were plenty of men that alpha their way through, and we buried thousands of them, thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands. Who knows? So all that alpha your way through the whole U.S. thing, you sound like a fucking idiot. There have been men all around the world that were willing to alpha their way through. They're in a box. I'm simply saying to those brothers that look like me, before you expire, go on, set everything up to where you can retire to another location where you can be in comfort and peace. Because this ain't it. This ain't it. It's not it. Why would you want to alpha your way through this bullshit?
Here, let's talk about this real quick. Do you believe most men don't know how to communicate? And again, this is go ahead, sorry.
No, sir, please.
Do you believe, it's my opinion that men know how to communicate just fine. It's just that we've been kind of conditioned to, believe that if a woman gets offended, and this is my belief, that if a woman gets offended somehow, some way, I'm wrong for I didn't communicate it properly. Like, is that kind of what you're? Do you think my interpretation is wrong? And
women
if it is,
have
feel free to tell me.
Women have trained that in the men. No, it's not the fact that we don't know how to communicate. It's the fact that we're not kowtowing and bowing down to what they're requesting, what they want. Just like the example of, okay, if she wants to go out with her girlfriends at 11 o'clock to a bar, bitch, no. It's simple. It's easy. We communicate very well. It's not a matter of being more articulate, or you're in a you can't express what you mean and what you think and what you feel. Nah, that's not it. She wants to do what she wants to do, and she wants you to agree with it. So if you sit back and agree with it, you have a bitch mentality, sir. You are B for the bitch. Flat out. That's what it is.
Tell me something. Sorry, I hate to cut you off. Tell me something. If you are able to communicate a point 4 or 5 different ways and give 4 or 5 different examples of the same concept or the same thing, does that make you more or less intelligent?
Neither. It means that you care. You care enough to even communicate 4 or 5 or 6 or 10 or 12 different ways when that bitch still wants, she gonna do what she wanna do. So flat the fuck out. Leave it alone. Recognize what it is and move on. So it's not about being an alpha or not being able to communicate. It's about that broad doing what she wants to because she knows she has the backing of the U.S. government behind her. And for all that bullshit that most motherfuckers be convincing themselves is, like, I'm the man, I'm this, that, the third. Stay behind that wall for more than 37 hours. You'll find out. 3 months, you'll find out. You ain't that fucking alpha. There's a whole lot of us out here. And I guarantee for those that say I'm alpha, you would not be able to endure the shit I went through. as far as my war zone experience, because mine didn't last for deployment. It lasted 4 years. I've seen captains shit themselves, piss themselves. I've bandaged people. I've built roads, bridges, the whole nine. So your little ghetto experience don't mean nothing to me. On some real shit. But
Dude,
they gonna do what they gonna do.
Blown off, bro.
Yeah. Mr. Garvey, what's up, brother? How are you doing, man? Let me unmute you. Cal, what's there you go. Sorry, go ahead. How you doing, bro? Mr. Garvey, how you doing? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? You're I don't know, you must be muted still. Oh, where'd Cody go? Khaled, can you hear me, bro? Unmute yourself. There you go. How you doing, man? Can't hear him. Alan. Oh, he'll probably come back on. You know, look, man, I didn't really want to, like, again. Whoo. I didn't want to, my intent wasn't to even go down this particular road at all. In fact, the part of the whole point of this live was to highlight how the system is used against us, Black men in particular, and for us to fight back. Filing $100 million lawsuits may or may not be the only way to do it. And that was kind of the point of this whole thing. The idea that some random female can point a finger and get us got, and how easily it can happen is the point. And when someone comes and tries to argue that somehow, some way, the bitch's way is better, and somehow it's not like, it's like not a problem that we can be given this type of grief at the point of a finger from a female is a problem. And
yes.
and the fact that this person could come up here and have this argument, and again, I'm going to talk about the argument that somehow, some way, we're at a loss when this is how the system is being used against us, is disingenuous at best. And especially when it comes with insults to the space, or we're just not man enough, or we're not whatever, is again it's a disingenuous argument. And if that's how you feel, and if that's the argument you want to make, then you deserve the mute button, and or you don't deserve to be on the panel. And if you seem to think that you're more intelligent than the people that are sitting here looking directly at the evidence directly in front of us, then you kind of don't deserve to be speaking, is kind of my point. And it's unfortunate because I like having back and forths. I like having conversation. I like having debate. But what I don't like is disingenuous arguments. And it seems as though we had a bucket of disingenuous arguments. Mr. Garvey, what would you like to add, bro? How you doing? Can I hear it? Can you hear me?
Mute.
I don't have him muted. I don't know if he's muted himself or not. Cody, would you like to add something while he's getting squared up? Mr. Garvey, Khaled, you could just jump in whenever you want, bro. Cody, go ahead, bro.
Well, as my mother used to tell me, God bless her soul, because she died over 20 years ago. She told me this: you might be big and bad, but there's always somebody bigger and badder than you.
Yeah.
There's always somebody smarter than you. There's always somebody stronger than you.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need to know your place.
Yeah.
And, you know, and you also have to learn how to pick your battles wisely.
Yeah.
And if you don't know how to pick your battles wisely, you be in a whole heap of trouble and you wouldn't even know it.
Yeah. Because here's the thing, man. Because like I said, I didn't want to do my man like that. I really didn't. And like I don't, and that's the thing. Like I appreciate his vigor, I appreciate his energy, and so on and so forth. But like what I don't like is the flawed arguments. And it's and for me to not call out a flawed argument and let that stuff slide without correcting it, I'm not a good person. I'm not a good friend. I'm not a good host. You see what I'm saying? And like,
Right.
and like, and that's kind of my issue with the whole thing. Like, I don't really want to like, um, you know, I would like to think that I would be able to kind of, uh, move the conversation along and to be able to have, like I said, some debate back and forth. But like, but if it comes down to like, oh y'all in words just complaining because y'all in words just complaining because y'all don't have good luck with women, or women don't like y'all, or women are just whooping y'all ass, and you guys just don't know how to communicate. It's like, man, for real, bro. Like, is because like at that point, like, is that? Go ahead. What?
It's not us. Sorry to interrupt. It's not us that getting our ass kicked by women, and it's the system, bro. You know, and they siding with the women, and you don't see that.
Yeah.
And you know, they, like you said, they got some people that ain't never see their kids, and the court is listening to them. And I was just recently looking at Pink Book Lessons the other day, and they had one. I think the mother brung the child all the way to Florida to let her mother raise her child, and the mom lives in Michigan and the dad lives in Michigan.
Yeah.
The dad didn't know that this child was going to Florida.
Yeah. She kept him away so she could continue to get the check.
Yeah.
Right? Because so she couldn't even take care of the kid herself. She sent the kid to her mom so that she could keep getting the child support, but wasn't actually taking care of the child. How is that not a manipulation of the system? How do you alpha your way through that? Like, you see what I'm saying? And like,
Right.
and to make that argument, or to be able to stand on a panel and say that's bullshit, or that's wrong, or that shouldn't be the way things are, and to attack a space that's trying to call that stuff out is it's disingenuous at best. Mr. Garvey, if you can you hear me? Oh man, because I so want to hear what you got to say, but just if you can, if whatever you got going on, if whatever you can, if you want to chime in, whenever you want to chime in, you can. I was gonna end this live. Uh I was trying to give Joe a shot to talk, man, but and then I was even gonna let him talk and like get his shit off. And I was even willing to take a couple arrows, you know what I'm saying? But like when he's just like the space and you guys are in the space and blah 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 and blah, and that's kind of when I kind of dropped it. He's still in the back. And I would love to, but I just don't believe he's gonna say he's not gonna give us anything worth talking about. I know him well enough to know he's about to say some bullshit, and I just don't want to deal with it because I don't want to cut him off again. And it's like, man, come on, bro. You got to break that sip chip, Joe. Like, dude, we don't hate women, bro. We don't hate women in this space. We don't. Not at this stage. I could see how people did back in the day, maybe if dudes were like really not getting dates and X, Y, and Z, but that's just not the case anymore. It's just not. Like, we're way beyond that part. Mr. Allen, you got anything you want to add? Kind of like I'm kind of winding down a little bit, but
Yes, sir.
Actually, can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question?
Yeah. Yeah.
How did you kind of find this space? What was your entrance into this particular space?
I was looking up laws, legal processes. That's what set me on my path. And eventually I found um BGS, and then I fell into a whole rabbit hole of information because I thought I was the only one going through it. Literally, I thought I was the only one on earth going through it.
Yeah.
I was under the impression that my situation is unique because I was that out my way through it guy. After all the war zone shit and all of the making six figures at 26, which most of the individuals listening have never done, I got screwed by the system. And I was like, whoa, what's this? I didn't know anything about the divorce rate for single men. I'm sorry, excuse me, for black women and black men. I didn't know any. I didn't know the stats. I knew nothing about this space.
Mm.
And then I got introduced, and I found out quickly that no, I'm not alone.
Mm.
This is what they do. All that alpha your way through gonna get you fucked up.
Yeah.
Because you think you can. All right, how about this? Alpha your way through a car accident with no seatbelt, going 90 into a brick wall. Alpha your way through a hail of bullets. It's not possible.
Yeah.
You can't. So
yeah.
you're fighting a system and a government and women backed by the government. Like it ain't gonna work, bro. It ain't gonna work. No matter what you do with your status. Look at Uncle D. He's a multi-millionaire. He's
Yeah.
going through it.
Yeah.
Who the fuck are you, sir? Like it ain't none of us that big. It ain't gonna work. No matter
Yeah.
what.
Hey Clarence, you gotta you gotta you gotta extra window open in the background. Go ahead, finish, Charlene.
So I found my way here because I got screwed over in a nutshell. And then I learned that no, this is just what they do. To assume that you are big enough, bold enough, and bad enough that it will never happen to you, you must be a fucking fool. This is what women in the West do. This is their bread and their butter. This is how they pay their bills,
Yeah.
by getting you. So I landed there. I hope you brothers learn something from my man Alvin and this whole conversation. It's not about being alpha. It's about being just reasonable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Know that you ain't got enough in you to fight the U.S., my G. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
You ain't got enough bread, enough money. You can see a multi-millionaire like Mr. Sperling go through it. If you ain't got at least one or 2 million in the bank, you know you ain't got shit coming.
Yeah. Yeah. Man. Oh Jesus, Joe! I don't want to have to do them. I just don't want to. What's up, Clarence? How you doing, bro?
Hey Alvin, how's it going, brother? And
Good.
peace to the room, Mr. Allen, Cody.
What's up?
What's up, man? What's up?
Ordinarily,
Is Clarence, is this Clarence Everett?
yes, sir.
What's up, brother? What's up, dog? How you
Hey
doing?
man, what's happening, brother? Usually I'm the cat in the background. You and
Yeah, I
I
know. We'll see.
share.
Hold on. Shout out to Clarence. And look, and again, Clarence is another gentleman that I met through this space that I've had conversations with, how I've spoken to on the phone, whom like I have we've gone back and forth. He got my personal phone. He can, we speak. So shout out to you. Go ahead, man. What are your thoughts on the whole? Let's do me a favor. Just
Yes,
kind of what are your thoughts on this Michael Irvin thing first, and then we'll like bounce back into this other stuff.
There was something that St. Kevin said to us years ago. He said that anytime we interact with a young lady, we're at significant financial risk. I extended that to say that we're at significant socioeconomic risk. You can be made economically inviolable through an interaction. So I'm in line with Mr. Allen. Um, we got to separate, man.
Yeah.
We got to do as much guarded behavior and protected behavior as possible. This is self-defense. Self-defense is your ability to say no. No, you're not going to take this from me. No, you are not going to harm me. We up against a confederacy. There's an annexation and a convergence of interest that is taking place right now. And as you said, you cannot alpha your way out of it. You cannot full throat attack it. He has to use his funds to hire attorneys who cost lots of money per hour to defend against something that is simply based on someone's word, an allegation. He's going to spend millions of dollars and he may not be successful.
Yeah.
And he may not recoup the money that he's lost. So he's being made economically inviolable due to an allegation. Now, if he's a millionaire and a Hall of Famer and he's that vulnerable, everybody in this space is crazy to think, if you think that it can't happen to you. Brother, yes, it can. You have to have situational awareness. And that's what this conversation is about. Extending to everyone here. And let me tell you something else. And I'm passionate about this. And that's why I called in. Because,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I usually stay in the chat.
Yeah, that's why I'm happy to have you, bro. I'm
Yeah,
glad
brother,
you popped in,
and
bro.
you know, and listen, Mr. Allen, you one of the most brother, you're a brave brother. If I ever get the opportunity to see and speak to you, I'd like to shake your hand and sit down and have a drink and exchange some experiences. I was born in 1965. I'm in my golden years. I'm 57. I'll be 58 this year. I've been through a lot. And what cracks me up is to hear someone half my age talk about experiences that they've had as though their experiences are the only ones that matter. And then have an elder brother come in and try to school you, try to teach you the way that a father should have taught you, and have that young brother shoot you down. Now, we're not denying your experiences, your limited experiences, young brothers.
And let's
What we're trying to do is share with you what lies ahead of you if you are not careful. It's as simple as having situational awareness. Take it for what it's worth, but don't spit it back in the brother's face, and definitely don't spit it on his back, because my brother checked out. He said what he had to say. We should have left it till next time. So, Mr. Allen, I salute you, brother, because you shared on these platforms some very intimate details to help these young brothers protect themselves. And Alvin, you know, I already told you, I'm not ready yet to let the world know what I just found out at 57. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%.
It's going to come out.
Yeah.
But with this Irvin situation, man, I want everybody within the earshot of what Alvin and Cody and Mr. Allen have been saying is like, brothers, we're vulnerable. Be situationally aware. Practice and shore up your self-defense. Be careful out here. I keep saying it, man. Unconditional separation is greater than conditional surrender, because that capitulation talk, that game talk, oh, I got to speak to her this way so that she don't use my words against me. No, brother, what you're doing is arming her with the ability to make you vulnerable, and you will be exploited. Yeah. Many a criminal has been locked up for life because of pillow talk. In other words, it was a woman.
Say that again. Hold on. Say that again. Hold on. Say it again.
Many a criminal has been locked up for life because of pillow talk. His woman has given him up. The biggest, baddest drug dealers, the biggest, baddest shotters, hit boys, D-boys on the street is behind bars right now because that woman that they loved and trusted, and they swapped her out for another chick, gave it all up. Oh, this is where the red caps are. This is where they put the body at. Yeah, they had sweet words for those women too. Never thought they would give them up. Right. How did Nikki Barnes get out? See, some of y'all not old enough to remember that story, but Guy got down with his woman.
Yeah.
Nikki gave it up.
Yeah.
Listen, fellas,
Yeah.
don't be so weak. Walk away. Be strong enough to walk away and don't turn back.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
You see harm coming your way, defend yourself. You ain't got to raise your voice. You ain't got to shout. You ain't got to swing a blow. All you got to do is turn around and get to stepping. We outnumbered by 7-1.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Ooh, I'm glad you came through, bro. I'm glad bringing some knowledge. Clarence, like I said, man, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, I talk to these brothers on a personal level because again, I'm realizing that we've been kept apart. We've been separated for a very long time. They literally made it put laws into place to keep us from congregating and sharing notes and so on. And before I get into Snuggles, you said something. How do you make a slave? And I'm kind of just to the panel of people. Can you tell about your experience when you're overseas and what you notice about the social contract between men and women? I will start with that. Overseas, the social contract between men and women simply seemed to be exactly the way I would expect it to be. The threat of someone kind of putting a false allegation on you, in my experience, was just never on the table. Meaning, like, I never felt like that might be something that I had to look out for. Every experience that I've ever had outside of this country, whether it was in Europe or South America, because I've only been to Europe and I've been to South America, has always seemed relatively genuine. Meaning, like, if there was a girl that was interested, we got whatever, and also with my experience with women in some of these other countries, they were really good about not giving me any any extra attention beyond just being cordial and respectful. And it didn't feel like I was being led astray. If a girl was involved or not interested, she made it very clear in the most respectful way, and that has always been my experience. What about you, Cody?
Well, with me, I was think a couple weeks ago, I had a little girl. She was just playing with me, whatever, and I didn't like how she was talking to me.
In
And
this country?
Yeah, and it's
What about when you travel? Because I know you traveled abroad a
when I
little
was
bit.
in Europe, well, that's a different story. With that, I didn't understand. I was like 18. I was in
Gotcha.
London.
Gotcha.
It was like a get together, and I was like liking this white chick. You know what I'm saying? Because she was a cute little thing.
Yeah.
When she called me baby face, I'm like, huh? I kind of got offended, but once I realized I look younger than what I look now, because I realized why they call me that, because I look younger than what I look.
Uh-huh.
And and they're so used to men looking rugged and rough. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So I said, okay, now I realize, years later down the road, as you get older, when you start communicating with people, you start figuring it out. Same thing with when I was in Hawaii, I was trying to get with this Polish girl, and
Was she nice to you?
oh yeah, she was very sweet.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Mr.
Yeah.
Allen, so Mr. Allen, in your experience, did you notice anything in particular about the social contract between men and women?
Yes, to put it bluntly, those women realized that their men would fuck them up. Straight up. They would fuck them up. So they were forced to honor that contract. One thing about us over here is we have become extremely soft on our women. So there is no threat of violence or immediate retribution. Overseas, totally different. Yet again, I referenced that video where I'm not sure the nationality, where the Russian or Ukrainian gentleman slapped the crap out of that woman that
Yeah, I saw
slapped him
that.
first. Yeah. And her whole life changed right in that moment when she sat down.
See,
That's the
oh, she
biggest
saw the
difference.
life flashback then, and then
She got an attitude adjustment.
Yep.
Clarence, do you think that Clarence, do you can you do you notice a difference between the social contract between men and women outside of this country?
I'm married to a foreign woman, brother. Yes, sir.
Okay.
And I've been married for 15 years. Um, my brother is married to a foreign woman, and we're about to celebrate his 30th anniversary. And yes, they are black women. All right, just in case anyone thinks any different. All my boys and all my brothers, we're from here. We're ADOS or FBA or African American. And when I was born in 1965, I was classified as a Negro. Then I became colored, Afro American, black. Now I'm African American. So I've been five things, and I guess ADOS and FBA is the sixth and seventh.
Yeah.
You know, these things change over the time, but the one thing that hasn't changed is us. We're men.
Yeah.
And when women recognize men from other cultures, we don't seem to be encountering the problems that we do here.
Yeah.
And you did a show on the slave farms
Yeah.
that tells you that this did not happen organically like it happened in other places. This was a forced situation where women were brought over for production and pleasure,
Yeah.
not to build families. So
Yeah.
when we go to places where women organically were able to fulfill their roles and recognize the roles of men, we don't bump into the bullshit that we bump here. All
Yeah.
right. Now, if I'm wrong, the results that we're seeing today would be different. But I think we have enough evidence to
Yeah.
agree with that.
Yeah.
Plus, the show that you put on stayed in such evidence. This is a thing that we're uncomfortable with talking about, but in science, when they study a disease, they do what's called epidemiology. They want to find out what the cause is versus what the symptoms are. We spend too much time trying to treat the symptoms. Mr. Allen, when you talked about walk the F away, you were talking about getting away from the malignancy. See, when something is malignant, the surgeon's got to cut it out.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
got to go. Because if it doesn't, you will die.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this isn't a capitulation. This isn't a surrender. We are walking away. We are creating separation. We're cutting it out. That's
Yeah.
what Uncle D has been trying to tell us for the past couple of years.
Yeah.
You see, Kevin gave his life trying to put it together. He didn't recognize how malignant the situation is. So people want to carefully craft words like an MC to talk around the malignancy, to talk around the cancer.
Yeah.
F that shit.
Yeah.
Walk away. There's other women out here.
Yeah.
You carry the XY chromosome. You make men and women.
Yeah.
You don't stop being a black man because you get with another woman. Manhood come through you. Wake up.
Yep.
Wake up.
All right, Joe. I'm here. I'm gonna ask you a question, Joe. All right. Can you hear me? Okay. If you had to give me the thing, the quality about American black women that you like the most, what would it be? Go on ahead, unmute yourself. Want me to get it? I got you here. Hold on. I got you. Can you hear
Okay.
me? All right. So I'm gonna ask you again. So if there's something about the American black woman that you absolutely like, the top thing, like that you think is the best, like what is the thing about black women that you absolutely love the most?
Good question. This is gonna bring a whole lot of light to stuff. There's only one thing I like about black women. You wanna know what it is? That my daughter's black. Other than that, I don't see no qualities in black women over here. I've been saying this on every show. I guess you guys missed it. There ain't no sim chip over here. You guys are just too slow to figure out the destination where the conversation is going. Thank you. Next.
All right. So Joe's got a daughter, unfortunately, and what I was really just didn't want to like put, you know what I'm saying, is like, and the only reason why I'm even gonna say this, and again, man, like you put it out there. So like he's talking about Allen getting his ass kicked or whatever, da da da. But this guy went ages without even being able to communicate or being with having anything to do with his daughter. His baby mother has been whooping his ass. He doesn't have any kind of communication with his own daughter. So the very shit that we're talking about is it's hypocritical for you to have some sort of an issue or talk about the space when we're literally highlighting the issues that you have yourself, sir. Like we are literally talking about issues that you have yourself, not being alienated from your own daughter, being alienated from your own people, having a woman whoop your ass, and you still have the unadulterated nerve to come here and to actually talk smack about the guys that are defending the stuff that you actually have problems with. That's why we say that the simp chip is strong, because that even though he is getting his ass whooped, has not been able to raise his own daughter, has been alienated from his own family. Hello. And men are out here trying to say, hey, it shouldn't be that way. This guy has the nerve to sit here and try to say that these other men are less men or lesser men. We've had that conversation once or twice. Lesser men because they're not strong enough to be able to handle their man, you ain't talking here no more, bro. You're done. You're never gonna speak on my platform again, sir. That's the end of that. You are gonna have to start your own channel and talk shit about me on your own. That's about the end of that. That'll never happen. I gave you an opportunity to speak. I hoped that maybe you'd be able to come on and actually like behave yourself, and you didn't. So
he's been banished.
You know what I'm saying? That was your last opportunity.
Really, y'all don't know this, y'all in danger. I'm a threat. I'm a gamble with your life.